name is Rachel Ward, and this is my graduate research project for Amberton University for the Compensation and Benefits Management class with Dr. Diane Sanchez. The purpose of this project is to design an effective benefits package for NAF employment services for the Fairchild Air Force Base located in Airway Heights, Washington. The following topics will be covered during this presentation: an introduction including hypothesis, methodology, and limitations, an overview of the U.S. Air Force NAF employment, current problems with attracting and retaining talent, literary reviews and recommendations based on research, and implications for the 21st century workforce, and references. The hypothesis statement is a total benefits package that is competitive, equitable, and trusted by employees will draw and retain top talent for the NAF Civilian Employment Program at Fairchild Air Force Base. The methodology used was a qualitative analysis based on literary reviews from several peer-reviewed sources. Some of the limitations are that many of the studies used in this research project focus on specific industries or specific sample populations as the basis for the research. This may limit the generalizability of the findings from the studies. Also, several of the studies used for this project used a small sample size and convenient sampling for their research. United States Air Force NAF employment. NAF stands for non-appropriated funds, which means that NAF funds are self-generated by activity and programs on Air Force bases, such as child development centers, craft centers, base restaurants, and other activities that the NAF employees generate revenue from. Non-appropriated funds come from money that is not appropriated by Congress or paid for from the United States Treasury. NAFs come mainly from sales of goods and services to Department of Defense, military, and civilian personnel and their families. NAF jobs are considered federal positions under the Department of Defense, and full-time positions include federal benefits. Fairchild Air Force Base. Since 1942, Fairchild Air Force Base has been supporting the United States defense strategy when it began as a World War II supply and repair depot. During the Cold War, Fairchild served as a bomber, tanker, and ICBM wing. Today, Fairchild operates as an Air Mobility Command air refueling wing. Fairchild Air Force Base is the largest employer in eastern Washington and is home to several thousand airmen and their families that live either on the base or in close proximity. Employees consist of enlisted military members as well as civilian employees who support the NAF employment. The NAF workforce includes human resources, IT, accounting, child care and youth programs, including education and library services, an animal kennel and veterinary clinic, craft and trade, lodging, and recreation. All of these jobs are here to support the military families on base. Current issues with employment. The turnover rates are currently quite high, 32% among NAF employees overall, and up to 44% for child care employees. Also, drawing top talent to work at the Air Force Base can be difficult, and one reason for that is the application process can be long and difficult due to background checks that are required. Employees that work on base have to have background checks that can sometimes take weeks. Average employees have to have a general background check, but any employees that are working with children have to do a much more extensive background check. and many employees don't want to bother going through the long background check if they can just find a job that doesn't require that. Also, many of the positions that are offered are flexible positions. These positions do not have guaranteed hours and don't offer benefits like the part-time and full-time positions do. Employees that are recruited to work on base are often spouses of actively enrolled military members, and they may be deployed, which is also a reason why turnover is quite high. Based on employee exit interviews and surveys, employees have a lack of trust in the fairness of the pay structure. Federal regulations regarding pay raises and modifications of benefits cause changes in pay and benefits to take a long time to implement. Another main complaint of employees who've resigned is that there is non-competitive wage and a lack of promotion opportunity within the NAF employment. Two of the major issues that need to be addressed are pay needs to be set at a more competitive rate, and employees need to be better communicated with regarding pay practices and promotion opportunities. Total compensation can include wages, benefits, and work-life balance. Why are compensation and benefits essential to employee success within an organization? Research shows that compensation is one of the most important factors on the quality and effectiveness of human capital. Compensation and benefits directly influence the quality of applicants, rate of job acceptance of qualified applicants, motivation, performance and retention of the workforce, and employee behavior within the organization. The psychological effects of compensation and benefits on employee behavior can directly affect motivation of employees. And when employees are satisfied with compensation, it can encourage creative, innovative, and workplace success. Employee compensation and benefits also considerably influence employee participation in their job and engagement with organizational goals. The main goal of a compensation system is to successfully recruit, select, and retain highly motivated individuals to create a successful and motivated workforce. Incentives and bonuses can draw qualified individuals to apply for jobs and retain and motivate current employees. Employees that are satisfied with their benefits increase their effort and performance at work. Some examples of compensation are wages, salary, bonuses, cash awards. Benefits could be health insurance, life insurance, pension, promotion opportunities, 401k, paid leave, or recognition cash awards. NAF employment offers competitive benefits in comparison with other organizations in Eastern Washington. The competitive benefits it offers are a choice between two competitive health and dental plans with relatively low deductibles that offer a high market value. There's 401k and retirement plan options, life insurance, and generous paid leave for employees who work full-time or part-time. Where there's problems with the NAF employment is that it offers average to below average wage. There's several reasons why the Air Force may be lagging behind in the wage. One reason is the Office of Personnel Management sets laws for the wages of the craft and trade employees. The Department of Defense establishes the wage regulations for other positions. Policy is currently being reviewed to allow hiring managers to use discretion to hire at any stage of the wage table in order to attract and retain employees. There's also a federal salary council that needs to review to adjust hiring rates. In order for Fairchild Air Force Base to stay competitive, they'll need to raise all of their starting wages by at least $1.50 an hour to match the current market. One issue that employees have expressed during exit interviews is that they don't understand their pay or they feel their pay isn't fair or comparable to the market value. So, one of the things Fairchild needs to work on is building employee trust. Key components of building employee trust. Perceived fairness of compensation can increase job motivation in employees. Supervisors should adequately explain expectations so employees understand the input required and the output that results. The input that's expected of employees is to utilize their job skills and provide a high level of customer service. And it should be communicated that they understand that the output would be an increased salary, appreciation, or promotion. Other aspects of making a compensation system that employees trust is by making sure that they feel that it's fair. Perceived fairness of reward systems and distribution of compensation and benefits is essential to keep, retain, and build employee satisfaction. This can be achieved when leaders effectively support and communicate with employees regarding job requirements, performance targets, time frame tasks should be completed, resources needed to reach goals, and the rewards gained by completing tasks. An effective compensation and benefits plan should be linked to specific goals and requirements that tie into organizational goals and can be attainable to employees. When compensation is based on achievement, employees want to know that their achievements are measured fairly. One goal an organization should have is to increase employee trust in the process and the employee perceptions of justice. Build trust with employees by communicating the following: pay criteria and reducing pay secrecy practices, establish if pay is based on group or individual performance, what the pay variation is based on, seniority, skill, etc., and help employees understand how much control they have on their output. Part of the issues at Fairchild Air Force Base is a lot of this is not communicated with the employees. In some ways, the wage does need to be evaluated with current market rates, but also employees need to understand how to get pay raises and what the pay criteria is. Pay structure includes internal alignment, competitiveness, contributions, and management. Two of the areas that Fairchild Air Force Base needs to work on are the external competitiveness. It needs to be assessed to attract and retain employees. Also, the fairness needs to be implemented so employees trust they're being compensated fairly and understand their opportunity for promotion. Current pay structure at Fairchild Air Force Base is a base wage, and then performance appraisals, and then merit increases based on those appraisals. Proposed improvements to the pay structure include a goal of setting pay level at or above competitors to create a competitive pay mix. Conduct external market analysis to determine a more competitive pay rate by collecting data, and then present the data to the local federal council to review the wage with the data in mind. Also, Fairchild needs to work with supervisors to give employees opportunities to promote. Flex employees should be encouraged by supervisors to apply for full or part-time positions as they become available. Also, hire-on bonuses and retention bonuses are a great idea to attract and retain talent. The performance appraisals need to be seen as more fair by employees, especially because they're often attached to the pay increase. By adding a 360-degree evaluation into the performance evaluation process, it may better assess employee performance and help employees feel they're being assessed fairly. Many employees feel a role conflict between work roles and personal roles. family, social, leisure, and spiritual aspects of personal life are important to employees. When employees are provided with work-life benefits, they're more satisfied, and employees that are satisfied remain longer with an organization. Work-life balance gives employees a sense that their employers care not only about their work life, but their personal lives as well. Some examples of work-life balance are when employers offer dependent care programs, employee assistant programs, health and wellness programs, offer telework, alternative work arrangements, and fitness programs. Do work-life benefits enhance the attitudes of employees? A 2016 study aimed to determine which work-life programs lessened turnover intentions of federal employees. The methodology used in this study were literature review and data collection from surveys collected from federal employees, which was administered by the Office of Personnel Management. The survey is administered annually, and this study used 4 years of data for analysis. The recommendations of the study showed that out of all the different types of work-life programs that were examined, the health and wellness program had the greatest effect on reducing employee turnover. Health and wellness programs signal to the employee that the organization cares about their health and well-being. This program brought a positive return on investment for employees and the organization by improving employee attitudes and increasing job satisfaction. Limitations of the study included that federal agencies were the unit of analysis instead of individuals. Examining individuals would have benefited the study. Also, the study only included several years. Additional studies would benefit by looking at trends during longer time frames. The current work-life balance that Fairchild Air Force Base offers are telework, alternative working schedules, and dependent care. Fairchild would benefit greatly to look into more health and wellness programs, especially because they have been proven to increase employee satisfaction and reduce turnover. NAF employment does offer competitive benefits. However, there are some areas that could use improvement. Education incentives and reimbursement are another area where Fairchild is lacking. This type of work-life balance would encourage employees to stay and promote for several of our departments. Our childcare, accounting, IT, and management and early childhood school age programs positions all have opportunities for promotion if employees seek further education. This is another way to lessen employee dissatisfaction with wage. As employees increase their education level, they can move into a higher paying bracket. The benefits of investing in employee education. Higher education benefits the workforce by investing in employees in an increasingly technological market where customers are becoming more demanding. Tuition reimbursement that is aligned with degrees that will advance the careers of employees within the organization bring return on investment for both the employees and the organization. Investing in employee skill benefits an organization by creating a more flexible, creative, and innovative workforce that is better prepared to meet customer needs. Employers may have concerns that employees will leave after graduating. However, when employees are given work-life benefits such as education reimbursement, they're more satisfied and may stay longer with the organization. The total compensation package, employee engagement. A 2019 study titled "The Influence of Total Compensation Management Effects on Employee Motivation, Employee Commitment, and Employee Performance" studied how total compensation management affected employee motivation, commitment, and performance. The methodology used in the study were literature reviews and data collection from surveys collected from 400 individuals enrolled in the Royal Thai Army. The research used a two-stage cluster sampling to collect samples based on 72 work units. The recommendations from the study showed that total compensation management helped organizations reach organizational goals by recruiting, motivating, and retaining employees in the globally competitive market. Both satisfactory cash compensation and benefits had a positive effect on employee commitment, motivation, and performance. It also was shown to increase psychological attachment of the employee toward the organization, causing increased involvement and increased trust and loyalty towards the organization. One of the limitations of the study is that the sample population was limited to one country and one type of industry, which greatly reduced its generalizability. Recommendations and 21st century implications for the United States Air Force NAF employment services include NAF employment would greatly benefit by reevaluating the way they communicate their pay structure to employees. Building a system of trust and transparency will help employees feel valued and more connected to the organization, which will result in a decrease of turnover. NAF Employment Services should also consider conducting more frequent market analysis of external pay structures to make sure they keep a competitive edge in the market. This can be neglected in the Air Force because of federal policies on who can set wage. Though there are channels of approval, it still shouldn't be forgotten. The Federal Council and Office of Personnel Management need to be communicated with regarding the needs of the organization so that changes in wage and competitiveness can happen. Also, another important thing they should consider is adding a health and wellness program and education reimbursement. This will increase morale and give employees opportunity to grow in their careers, increasing their wage, and hopefully retaining employees. That concludes my presentation. These are the references that I used for my research.